The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up this evening, aviation officials applauding a new airport terminal in Cat Island. The airport officially opened today with aircraft taking off from the airport to boot. Also tonight, a look at the largest early voting exercise to happen in the Bahamas and the major hiccups, stumbles, and missteps that happened yesterday. And later this evening, the man heard speaking in that now viral video where Rick Fox is seen getting very angry. Did he threaten Fox? I ask him tonight. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Prime Minister Davis having a busy day today. He was in Cat Island the first part of the day. But this evening, Prime Minister Davis has taken the PLP's message of progress to San Salvador. The Progressive Liberal Party rallying its supporters in San Salvador now 11 days until the wider population goes to the polls. Laurencia Smith is in San Salvador. She joins us live now from the Rally for Progress. Good evening to you, Laurencia. Of course, we are waiting to get Laurencia. We don't have her quite as yet, but I want to kind of start right there before we get move the show along. Ellington Ferguson, it's good to have you here. Good evening to you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Happy Friday to you. It's been a week.
Good evening. Thank you for having me, TGIF.
It's been a week, I know. Ellington, your thoughts on this airport renaissance project is being called. I saw the story earlier from Cat Island, and I think we'll have it later in the newscast in the show. I saw it earlier, and Kenneth Roma and so many other aviation officials very happy to see these new build-outs that's going on, renovations, new airports happening on various family islands to help, one, bring new energy into the economy, and obviously because of the new airports, attract increased flights. Your thoughts on what's happening right now and the intentional focus to be able to get more traffic and by extension investments to family islands?
Absolutely, Shanique. This is a very important initiative. As like you said, airlift is very important, and infrastructure to the development of these family islands, and this administration have been intent. We have a number of family islands being airports that are being developed. Cat Island is just one such of them. Today, now that they have opened this brand new facility where they tout the building, brand new terminal building, brand new work on the runway. They also has a weather system in place there. As that one opened today, the airport in Old Bight is closed down, and they're starting to work on that. This is wonderful. They talk about some of the other islands, even as far as south as my hometown, Auckland's Island, they refurbishing and doing all those airports. Once you put these things in place, the economy of these islands can begin to thrive, even in a lot of cases without the direct help of central government. These people can thrive and they can make some headway for themselves. So this is a wonderful thing for Cat Island, and kudos to the Davis administration. They talked about doing all of these airports and all of these islands, and now you can see them coming off one by one. This is a very good thing for the economy and the development of these islands.
Of course, we were waiting for Laurencia Smith, who is in San Salvador at that rally. I understand a motorcade is happening right now. At this hour, there's a motorcade that's happening on the island of San Salvador to be able to get to the rally. Not sure exactly where she is at the moment. You all let me know, but I'll tell you, if we start, obviously, going on to another topic, then we can always catch up at another time. And so let's just move this forward, right? So this week, it is Week in Review Friday. And what a week it's been. Of course, I am talking about the early vote that took place yesterday. And that vote, so much happened, you all. I'm not sure who's on the teleprompter, but I would need you all to kind of just move with me. So the voting was extended well beyond 6 o'clock yesterday evening at C.B. Bethel School for the Pinewood constituency in particular. The last vote in Pinewood at C.B. Bethel happened just before 10 o'clock in the evening. Unprecedented, really and truly. It brought to an end a long and frustrating exercise for many. The school also served as the voting center for the Bamboo Town and South Beach constituencies. Now, nearly 3 hours after closing, police escorts arrived to assist with the removal of ballots and, of course, from the school to take them to the police headquarters where they will remain until May 12th. Meanwhile, though, leader of the Coalition of Independents, Lincoln Bain, raised concerns about the custody and handling of the ballot boxes, drawing reference to concerns he has previously expressed during the Golden Isles by-election. Let's take a listen.
It's for it to be held in a vault that has a camera on it 24 hours a day so that we can see that box and the public can see that box with a running clock on it so that we can know that it's not tampered with. That's the best case scenario because the ballots are there and they're not accounted for. You just know that it's 100 ballots, for example, in the box and you count it and you have a count of it, but you don't know who voted for what. On election day, general election, they take the box without counting it to see if it's still 100 in there and they dump it in to the polling box and you didn't count it. That could now be 150, but we don't know. And so they just dump it in there and they could have taken out 50 and put in another 50. They could have done whatever they want with it and that's where the problem comes in. That's why we don't want it at the police commissioner's office.
Now, in the race for Pinewood, and we will get that and have a bit of discussion about those concerns raised a moment ago, but in the race for Pinewood, the Progressive Liberal Party's Miles LaRota is among the candidates, while in South Beach, the Free National Movement's Darren Henfield also discussed the course of events that transpired on advanced poll day.
7:27, and we still have quite a way to go. I hope we could learn from this process and that in the general election that it's be smoother. Now, Pinewood have 13 polling divisions, so we should not have this kind of problems.
Down here, let me tell you how this thing was illogical. South Beach had on the register about 770 people to vote in the advanced poll. 777, 75 thereabouts. But we had 2 rooms assigned to us. Bamboo Town had about 1,200 persons to vote with 1 room assigned to it. And Pinewood Gardens, I don't know what their number was, probably around the same as mine, and they had the 1 room. And so we gotta figure out how to do this, and we gotta figure out how to do it more quickly.
And you know, that is the issue right there coming out of yesterday. The fact that at first, not every school was closed so that you can really have voting centers around and properly manned. There were insufficient poll workers. Then, as you heard Darren Henfield say just now, there were constituencies with hundreds of voters who were expected to vote yesterday who had 1 room and they were going one at a time. And meanwhile, though, in those rooms, there were like 2, sometimes 4 booths. And so why weren't they all being used simultaneously so that you can get people sort of in and out? I mean, have more eyes in the room, have more people there to ensure that everything is smooth. But again, they were going in one at a time. And this is right where we're going to pick up this evening. On yesterday's, I don't even know the right term to describe it, but certainly yesterday's early vote. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Once again, of course, Ellington, it's great to see you. Leslie Miller, welcome as well. It's good to have you here. Gentlemen, what we heard described, well, first, let's talk about Lincoln's concern is the fact that, listen, to ensure that these ballots are secure and that there is no tampering.
Shanique, was that Lincoln or was that AI that you just played that clip? That has got to be AI. That I can't believe that somebody that's running for national office will be that ignorant of the whole process when those ballots, and that's why every candidate the person that you have opening the poll, that's the persons you have closing the poll, because they would know the numbers you start with, they would know the numbers you start with. Those are the key persons again. When we go back to general election, that will be there to count that advance poll. Whatever they sign off on when that box leave there, they bring that, when they dump that out, they recount that and double check whether that's the number. I'm not sure where Mr. Lincoln
So you were
Bain-
saying what you described just now, and are you experienced with working the polls, by the way?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay,
On several
so
occasions.
what you described just now are those guardrails that former Prime Minister Ingram spoke about when he said that there are numerous guardrails in place as when it applies to general election.
Absolutely, because FNM, PLP, COI, DNA, every one of their members sign off onto that we had 10 ballots, 10 yellow, whatever green, whatever other color. They sign off onto that, all of them. And so when you come back on the general election day, when they bring that box back and you open it, all of them will look in their book and say, yes, it was 10, that was 5, that was 4, whatever it was. It baffles me. That statement from Mr. Bain baffles me.
Now,
I don't know where.
Leslie,
Now you see why I call the guy a jack leg, right?
Leslie,
Okay.
I want you to look right here.
Right.
I
If I
want
say
you to.
jackass,
I
you're
know. I don't know. I
gonna
want you. No, Leslie.
Right.
Leslie, you ain't a doggone
I mean,
have
just really listen.
Just
This has to stop. 2 weeks from now is the general election. And this clown is going to be right there saying the same thing over and over and over
Somebody
again.
have the kid.
What if all of us that was put in those boxes yesterday? I'm sure you didn't get 50. So what is this problem?
Leslie.
How many times is Mr. Hubert Ingram, the former prime minister that served 3 terms, is going to tell him in the FNM, because FNM just as bad as him now. You cannot cheat in a Bahamian election. It's not possible. I run in 6 straight. 6 for 30 years. It never happened. It cannot happen. Yeah, people are there. There are people out there. Vigilance is what takes place in the
Gotta
day.
be vigilant.
Everybody's there being vigilant. They've got to stop.
But I understand. But you will see later on, Jo Beth Colby Davis is raising concerns as well about something that took place that she observed, where the box was taken in the bus and then we'll get to it, and then taken out and taken to a classroom. Are these concerns, whether it's by Lincoln Bain, Jo Beth Colby Davis, or anybody else, are they legitimate?
Well, Shanique, I think that is legitimate. The box, until it goes to where it is kept, it should always be visible to all of the agents from the various parties. So yes, that was a legitimate concern.
Listen, there were many concerns that took place yesterday.
And
For example, I voted up at Dame Doris Johnson School. I went there at 9:15 and I left there at 10:30, 11:15. Total disgrace, right? And there was no chairs out there for those individuals who needed to sit down. There were many very old people there. And what really got me, I would hope that the Commissioner of Police would sit with her men and women that she sent out here and stop sending us a bunch of little baby rookies who has no respect for the system and who don't know what the hell they're doing. 3 persons were there. And I said to him, I say, sir, you know those 3 ladies there, 1 white Bahamian and 2 black women. I say, you know, think you could put them in first? I said, because, you know, they are old people, they're in a wheelchair. They shouldn't have to be out here all day waiting, because I'm sure the system gives them preference
Absolutely.
anywhere in the world.
No, but I'll tell you where I was, it did.
Okay,
So,
you
go
know what he
ahead.
said to me? Well, Mr. Miller, if they want to do it early, they should have come early.
Oh, wow.
I said, what's your
Police
problem, man? I
officer?
said, where's your humanity? See, I'm begging you, madam, please, send some people there with sense next week, because there could be problems if you don't make them discontinue their views of older persons who are invalids.
No,
it's a total disgrace.
Older persons in wheelchair,
Yeah.
needing persons with canes or
Right,
whatever
it's a
it is,
disgrace.
they need assistance and they need respect. They
Okay.
deserve respect. And police officers must understand that. Poll workers must understand
stop
that.
it, man.
And many of us, and I saw many people who gave way to them so that they can go and be...
and I blame a lot of the aspiring candidates.
Yes.
Those who are in the House and those who are out. It was their responsibility to go in those classrooms and take those chairs out, put them in a secluded area for those persons who could sit down. There were no chairs out there at Dame Doris Johnson.
In the words of
It's wrong.
In the words of Arjun and Alan, you know, they are precious pearls. They have labored, they have put in their time in this country, and they should be respected as such. And so, yes, Shaniki talked about them being allowed to go in front of the line or...
Yeah, they were given preferential
earlier.
treatment.
Leslie Miller, you talk about candidates should be more. I think it was Mr. Bastian who sent his team when he realized the chaos and got tents and chairs for not
Everyone.
for PLPs to sit
The
in.
school is supposed to be open.
Everybody to
Everyone.
sit
The
in.
classroom is supposed to be
And
open
these
for
are the
them to
kind
get
of things
chairs.
we need to look at. We need to make sure as we go to May 12th that we prepare to accommodate our seniors in this country. We cannot continue to treat them, our seniors and our disabled, in the manner that we've been treating them.
How could
I
you
need
have
to see us
folks
go
in
way above
Anson
and beyond
Arms?
to make sure that they're comfortable come May 12th.
How could you have folks in hands and hands? A school as large as Dame Doris Johnson, massive school. I'm voting in 2 rooms right next to each other.
No, that's chaos.
It was a disgrace. I told the PM yesterday, I said, PM, next week or week after next when we have election, you must ensure that any constituency must have at least 6 divisions they can go in the classrooms. At least 6. At least 6. That has to be done.
I think Leslie
I'm
and
telling you.
Ellington, the Parliamentary Registrar Department was obviously
They were-
ill-prepared.
they were-
They
yes,
were
overwhelmed. They were overwhelmed.
And here's what it is, because it's the first time the wider population participated in an early vote. That voting, as we
And
know,
so many young people too.
And yes, traditionally, that is reserved for the armed forces
Yes.
and for poll workers. And I do believe perhaps those aspiring to be elected as well. That's really roughly
I would
about
say
it. And
60% of the persons who were there
Yeah.
were young people.
Yes, but they're going to show up even in
Okay.
larger numbers
Very
on
young
the 12th.
people. And don't forget,
but the
we
thing
had
is
COVID
also,
too.
but
Remember
also,
COVID?
yes, but also Leslie and Ellington.
Okay.
Should it be a number? Yes, it's good that people can now vote early if you make the request and you are granted it. But also, should it be some sort of number?
Yes,
And
that number should be.
again, Parliamentary Registration Department, there's still no excuse. You all should have
No
been better
excuse.
prepared. You
No excuse.
over-prepare if it's anything.
None.
Simple
None.
as that. Get this, you all. F&M lawyer Khalil Parker is raising concerns following the advance poll yesterday, demanding a meeting with the Parliamentary Registration Department and posing questions about what the voting process will look like on May 12th.
Are they storing the documents, the certificates that people present to show that they were approved? Are they placing them in the box? Will the box be then, when the box is opened, will then there be a reconciliation exercise where those documents are applied or some indication is made with respect to those voters that have already voted? And now we are hearing through a press release that there was manipulation, fabrication potentially of these documents to allow people to vote who were not entitled to vote on an application. So we now have to determine how we are going to handle those offenses.
Parker claims a lot of yesterday's confusion could have been avoided with thorough, constructive conversation.
We are rolling on into the general election with some substantive concerns. It is absolutely unacceptable. And it is more than things were just a little slow. And so for my part, it is how we reconcile with all of these ad hoc decisions. And I expect and we demand that there is an urgent meeting with PRD tomorrow at the latest to get a clear understanding as to what is going to happen to make sure that the concerns that have been created by this botched process are addressed to everybody's satisfaction before we move on into the general election. And we also need them as a matter of urgency to confirm on the record the closing process to account for the people who were allowed to vote by their policy change who were not entered onto the register.
Following numbers of complaints, which included long lines, poor treatment of the elderly and disabled, and logistics that seemed to be ill-prepared to handle the historic number of voters for yesterday's advanced poll, a first really since early voting was introduced, Prime Minister Philip Davis, while expressing his pleasure at seeing so many people show up to the polls, also lamented that there has to be a better way.
Wanted to be a part of the exercise, and there has to be a way to stagger voters. Everybody came at the same time, but I'm proud of the patience exhibited by our people to exercise that sacred franchise of voting.
In Ellington, many people said, listen, maybe the elderly and the disabled should have been taken,
Given
you know, in a
preference.
different room.
Preference, yeah.
Well, they were given, I'll
No,
tell
they
you,
were not.
at Yamacraw and Elizabeth, they were.
Well, they were not
At
given
Yama,
preference.
I saw this happen.
At the
Now, I'm
Doris
not saying it
Johnson.
happened because I was only there for a few hours and then I left. So I'm not saying it happened throughout the entire day, but I saw it happen. They were even being assisted by it seems as though candidates and their workers to be able to get them where they needed to be. But people suggested as well that perhaps the elderly, and not just preferential treatment, but a separate room where they could go and vote.
Yes.
There ought to
I
be
agree
some.
with you totally.
There ought to be some kind of convenience for the elderly and the disabled, obviously. I think, and it's a good gesture that Mr. Parker made, that he's want to meet with the parliamentary register chairman. I think further than that, though, I think the parliamentary department should call a meeting with the chairman of all parties and say, hey, guys, this is what we're looking at, this is what we had, this is what we're planning for the way forward, and hear and take suggestion from those chairpersons of those parties as we get prepared for May 12th. And I think that discussion need to have, it's a very important discussion. But yes, we need to make some kind of concession, some kind of provisions to accommodate the disabled and our elderly. We cannot put them through this again come May 12th.
Listen, for the first time in my life, I saw election officers who were telling candidates and the persons who were running those different constituencies that they couldn't give water to the people who were standing on the line.
I saw that as well.
I
Yes.
witnessed that.
That's new.
I said, what the hell are you talking about? You can't give water. That's an enticement. If someone want water, I said, what's your problem,
Yeah,
man?
no, people objected. So that's why they had to stop giving water in the hot sun. Elderly people and just other people. You listen, people can become dehydrated at any age.
You got to do better.
And they were told, no, you cannot. I saw that happen. I saw it. Listen, don't go anywhere. We're just getting started tonight. Beyond the Headlines, Week in Review Fridays is back right after this break. Stay close.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash, Superwash's newest spokesmodel. And I'm here to tell you about Superwash's large capacity washers and dryers for all your big loads.
I know I see that Charlie Banana coming here just now.
Uh-oh. Luckily, it's also big enough for me to hide it.
I thought he was right over here where these large capacity washer and dryers is. They're big enough now to handle your big loads, you know. Yeah, like your comfort on your blanket. But just look at us. Somebody forget to turn on the dryer. Oh, stop! Help! You hear something? Yeah, that's the sound of clean. Superwash washes you, process you, and entertains you 24/7.
The F&M can't agree on anything except attacking everything started by the PLP. Now he's calling for a reset, but it's stop, review, and cancel again. New airports, school breakfast, upskill, the National Youth Guard, energy reforms. This crew would roll back progress. The FNM, not strong enough to lead us forward, but petty enough to drag us back.
5 cars, catch the keys, don't blink, take these.
Island Luck is giving away 5 brand new cars. Earn 10 reward points for a chance to enter and win. Enter weekly from Monday 12 a.m. to Sunday 2 p.m. Winners are announced Sundays at 3 p.m. on 103.5 The Beat and Island Luck Socials. 5 cars, 5 weeks. The more you play, the better your chances. Visit islandluck.com for more information. Catch the keys only at Island Luck. Must be 18 and over. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so please game responsibly.
The world is changing. It's bringing new challenges, but also new opportunities. The truth is, our economy always left too many Bahamians out. Now we're opening new doors in agriculture, tourism, energy, entrepreneurship, providing grants, scholarships, national service, and upskilling. A new generation is rising, and we're finally moving in the right direction, building an economy that includes everyone.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. While points of view and opinions surrounding yesterday's voting process persists, former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis says it's not abnormal to have disruptions like these in an election.
You have irregularities in any ministry, right? You will have a few rotten apples, but that doesn't mean the entire bunch is. And the one or two irregularities, that's not sufficient to interfere with any electoral process. So it's usually political arguments back and forth. Oh, they thief in the election. Jesus Christ, nobody thief the election.
Well, that's former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis really echoing what former Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham said last year, that has been played over and over again as this election. You all know what's been trending. Corruption in citizenship and obviously stealing the general election. And are there safe guardrails in place to be able to secure and ensure that what the Bahamian people vote for, they actually get on May 12th? Gentlemen, your thoughts on Dr. Minnis. And by the way, he was out there yesterday speaking with everybody. I saw a video just late this afternoon of him out there at the polls, at the early vote, speaking and sitting there with his team and speaking with other political organizations as well, seeming to have a good time.
Absolutely. I think Dr. Minnis is absolutely correct. As we go through these cycles, there are people, some people that are basically just fear-mongering, trying to give people the boogeyman syndrome that, everything is going while the sky is falling and all of that. We have these things go back and forth. Candidates, especially there are people jostling for position and the irregularities or what they perceive to be irregularities that eventually in many cases turns out to be nothing. A lot of people, sometimes things are overblown, blown out of proportion, and people try to take things to suit their own purpose, if I may use that term. And so, we have these things. And next election, you'll have the same thing. 10 years from it get heated, you have a heated election, heated contested election. You will always have these things. We just need to know how to behave ourselves, how to manage our emotions when we go into these things, and not let the rhetoric get out of control like we've seen in some instances recently.
I am very, very concerned that every day for the last month, you had persons before the court, foreigners, dealing with passports, NIB cards, driver's license. And I've heard no Bahamian name has been called or been arrested in connection with these matters. Okay? And it's becoming frightening now that every single day, there's 2 or 3 or 4 of them doing these things. This has to stop. People stealing our birthright. One of them got bail again for $8,000. The other one got bail for $6,000. What the hell are the courts doing? I mean, anybody can get a passport, get a driver's license, get an NIB card, and all you do is put them on bail. Why would you have them on bail when they can flee the country to go back where they came from? Why is that? $8,000 bail. First they should be at Fox Hill, they'll be deported, never to return to this country again. The system is too slack. And I like average Bahamians, are getting very, very concerned and disgusted with what is going on. Very disgusted.
Okay, so let's link that, Leslie, to the election outcome as the last bit with Dr. Minnis addressed and talked about those anomalies that you mentioned. The fact that you may have somebody with a fake passport or fake voter's card slip through the system. But many, and as you saw, there are some, and you referred to it, being apprehended as well. But let's just talk about, again, how can that impact the general election? the fact that we are seeing this done, and it's a racket. We know it's a racket.
Yes.
It's a racket involving us. We
Yes,
are
us
we are facilitating
exactly.
the passports, the whatever documentation it is that these people need to be able to get whatever it is they're trying to get. We are basically facilitating it. So how do you respond to that?
I'm concerned about their boldness, man. You know, these guys go there and walk up there with a damn passport to get registered. The boldness of them, that this is what I can do in this country. I can do it. I'm getting away with it. It bothers me, and we got to stop it.
I am not totally surprised when people put their lives to come on a mere raft across deep blue ocean, thousands
These guys from the Dominican Republic.
Thousands of feet deep. I mean, up to 200 of them sometime in a little rickety boat. People would be desperate to do anything to try and get a new way of life. Unfortunately, sometimes we find our own people participating in this. I spoke to a lady from the Central Bank a few weeks ago, and she was telling me some of the things. You got some fraudsters that will go and they have some equipment that they will try to do with passport, driver's license. But the thing I am comforted in the midst of all of this concern, is that number one, these people does not have the authentic signatures, and almost any time they attempted to use these documents, they are detected immediately. This is why we have so much of the reports, because of the safeguards put in place. I think our documents is secured. There are some people that are attempting to defraud them, and once all of our agencies, immigration, national insurance, and passport office, and wherever they go to use these documents, and the signature is not correct, let us continue to be vigilant to ensure that these persons who is doing this, and Leslie Miller alluded to, let's try and get to the root of it, wherever it is, whether it's a Bahamian or foreigner. Let's try to find the root and to deal with it from there, because we cannot afford people to continue to do this. But I'm happy with the safeguards that are detecting these documents to be fraudulent documents. They don't have the authentic signatures on them, which makes sure that people at the top is not involved in putting these together. These are not coming from the proper places where they should be coming from.
Gentlemen, the Davis administration is getting a thumbs up from international credit rating agency Moody's. Moody's assessment of the economy shows that the nation is slightly better off financially than it was last year. Danielle Dean spoke with a local financial expert who gave a breakdown of the Moody's assessment.
The Bahamas is getting a vote of confidence tonight from Moody's credit rating agency, with an upgrade to the country's credit rating signaling stronger financial stability and improved ability to manage its debt. The country moving from B1 to BA3, a step closer to investment grade. Commercial diplomat Edson Sumner reacting to the upgrade.
Moody's decision, in my view, to raise the Bahamas' long-term issuer and senior unsecured ratings from a B1 to a BA3 essentially signals a strong vote of confidence in the country's fiscal management and economic prospects. The upgrade reflects tangible progress in reducing government debt and improving fiscal discipline.
But here's the reality. Who really feels this first? Not the average Bahamian, at least not right away. Experts would argue that the government and investors benefit first, as the country is now seen as less risky to lend to, potentially lowering borrowing costs over time. That could free up funds for public services and support future investment and jobs. The report credits strong tourism, better tax collection, and controlled spending.
The government is generally generating enough revenue to cover its operating expenses without the need to borrow more money, which is in large part due to higher, tighter tax enforcement measures, while we are looking at also controlled or measured spending.
But Sumner warns challenges still remain.
Despite these positive developments, the Bahamas remains below the investment grade. And what this means is that while the country's credit profile is improving, it still carries some risk that investors may consider. The stable outlook suggests that Moody's expects these positive trends to continue, but without any rapid further increases or upgrades in the near term.
And while the country may be doing better on paper, as many Bahamians would tell it, the cost of living still tells a different story. Danielle Dean, Eyewitness News.
So you heard the Moody's report that was issued yesterday. Danielle followed up today, obviously, to explore it further and see exactly what it means. I imagine it's good news that, listen, the Bahamians want to hear about and be able to obviously know that they can depend on their lives improving at the end of the day. Your thoughts, gentlemen, on where Moody's is now assessing and has placed the economy?
Shanique, it's a wonderful thing. While a lot of the average Bahamian still waiting for some things to happen for them, obviously that report tells us that the country is headed in the right direction. It's headed on the way up. The economy is getting stronger. Hopefully we can continue to spread it across the archipelago. But it's great news, excellent news, especially during this time, during this election cycle. I'm not sure how that's going to play out with all of the others, but it's wonderful news, and hopefully we can continue on this trend to strengthen our economy and expand our economy here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
The average Bahamian certainly deserves it. Leslie?
I think it's a good thing that is happening, even in a situation now with President Trump and Iran and Israel bombing the hell out of that country in the east, that here we are still moving ahead in a meaningful way to assist our people in getting a better life financially. They're on the right track. I think we need to keep pace, and maybe the next budget we should cut back on some of the things that people have been complaining about, and try to get things right.
So listen, here is something that took place today. That's, I guess, also another indication of moving in the right direction. A milestone moment for Cat Island with the commissioning of a new airport in Arthurstown. Government officials call it a signal of progress for the island. Janelle Longley has more.
From tents and wooden boards to a fully cemented airtight facility.
Airport includes a new terminal building, as you can see, outfitted with ticket counters, the spaces, and a security screening section. There's also a departure area with seating for 52 persons, along with restrooms, concession area, a bank ATM, and parking to accommodate up to 50 vehicles.
Arthurstown residents now equipped with not just the conditions necessary for a more comfortable wait for departures, but a new avenue for revenue generation to the island.
And that's Star Oil Cat Island on May 12th. Something big is happening across the country, yes, but here in Arthurstown. You will see landing here your first international service every Tuesday and every Thursday. Makers Air will land here directly from Florida.
But with 10 days to the next general election, could the final completion of a move promised over a 34-year reign as Cat Island's representative be seen as an election ploy to secure one last term? Davis refutes such assertions.
And boy, didn't we promise Cat Island all the years. But I told someone the other day when they asked why, I said, well, promises were made, but I had to ask to get them fulfilled. But I now got a pen. We've had over 90 meetings weekly, every other week, to keep this project focused and on track.
And those sentiments have been backed by Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Aviation, Tourism and Investments, Chester Cooper.
Our administration has delivered new terminals, as you have already heard, in Ragged Island, Great Harbor Key, Maguana, and now right here in Arthurstown, with many, many more to come. And when the history of this period is written, Prime Minister, this Family Island Renaissance program will stand as one of the great legacies of your administration.
And in a few weeks, the new Bight Airport is expected to follow.
This is what it looks like from the land side, including solar parking. So Cat Island is leading the way now for sustainable airport projects in the entire region.
Janelle Longley, Eyewitness News.
I tell you, I remember when Mayaguana opened their airport recently, a very excited Kenneth Roma, Ellington and Leslie, very happy to see what he describes and the entire industry as an airport renaissance that's taking shape. A good news for Cat Island today, for sure.
It's definitely a good news for Cat Island, and Cat Islanders, I'm sure, welcome this. It's good for the island. It's good for those boutique hotels across the island of Cat Island. A few years ago, they've been complaining about business, and I'm sure now with the new airline that's coming in there, Cat Island is on the way up. Auckland's, we waiting for you down in Auckland's, eh? Thank you very much.
The governor's been doing a good job in putting on renovating the airports in most of the family islands. You must give them full credit. Exuma
Absolutely.
and all the other islands. It's the right way to go to get the economy going and sustain the economy. With Bahamians going into tourism industry to earn a living. It's a good thing. Just need to sustain it now and try to maintain it in a way that people could appreciate it over the years.
Yes,
They're doing a very good job.
Absolutely. Gentlemen, before I go, I'm reading it simply because it's from an insurance industry expert about the passports, Leslie, that you mentioned, and the fact that they continue to be fraudulent passports and whatnot going on. Here's what this person is saying. The Bahamian passports are issued by Canadian banknotes. You can try to use them, but you will be caught. Canadian banknotes has had the contract for decades under all administrations. And so that is, I do remember Nicholas Simonet being here and talking about those various security measures that are changed every 90 days with the Bahamian passport.
Change every 90 days?
Every 90 days.
That's why they're being detected.
90 days.
That is why they're being detected in court.
That's a hell of a thing.
And so this is what's happening.
90 days.
They're ICAO compliant. And so I quote him because he's been here so many times, and I'm happy that he's been able to come by and help allay all of our fears as it relates to our
So we
document.
got a whole lot more than to catch then.
I'm sure.
You can't go far with it. You
I'm
can't
quite
use
sure.
it.
Yeah.
So listen, gentlemen, here's a question for you tonight. Did he threaten Rick Fox? Just what happened yesterday that led to the exchange that went viral. That's right, it's on TMZ, y'all. It's all over, all over. Well, after this break, I speak to the very gentleman. We heard his voice, but now we'll see exactly who he is and we'll hear what happened. Beyond the Headlines is back right after this.
The F&M can't agree on anything except attacking everything started by the PLP. Now he's calling for a reset, but it's stop, review, and cancel again. New airports, school breakfast, upskill, the National Youth Guard, energy reforms. This crew would roll back progress. The FNM, not strong enough to lead us forward, but petty enough to drag us back.
Changing. It's bringing new challenges, but also new opportunities. The truth is, our economy always left too many Bahamians out. Now we're opening new doors in agriculture, tourism, energy, entrepreneurship, providing grants, scholarships, national service, and upskilling. A new generation is rising, and we're finally moving in the right direction, building an economy that includes everyone.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At Investar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
Everybody get up.
The F&M can't agree on anything except attacking everything started by the PLP. Now he's calling for a reset, but it's stop, review, and cancel again. New airports, school breakfast, upskill, the National Youth Guard, energy reforms. This crew would roll back progress. The FNM, not strong enough to lead us forward, but petty enough to drag us back.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Rick Fox putting the 2026 election in international headlines. It all happened after this exchange.
We told them before they walk down there and move these tents and bring them down here, we told them we park our vehicles here because this is a marker. As you can see, we started from across the road and we come straight across. We put our vehicles here as a marker, and I told them, you are a witness, that I told them before they walk down there and bring these tents down here, that these are our vehicles and we have reserved this spot for the 20 by 20. We was only waiting for the gentleman to come and move the tents and bring them here.
Is that
okay?
Is that in the rules that you mark?
I don't give a about no rules you talking about. Wait, listen, hold on.
You get crazy. But you don't freak out yourself, yeah? You don't freak out. Hold on. You don't freak out yourself, this. Ready? Right here for y'all, all day long, right here. You don't freak out yourself. You don't freak out yourself. Police, that's right. Police, you a part of it. Police, no, you can't establish a room in the jail. That's right, record. I want the Bahamian people to know. Record.
So that was yesterday, a very angry Rick Fox at yesterday's polling. I wonder exactly where that is, but he spoke with the media afterward, though, and gave this explanation.
Thankfully, the police presence has been great. It was great yesterday and great today. They held the peace for us. The individual that was being belligerent and swearing and threatening people's lives, threatened my campaign manager's life, threatened my life, was charged. The police officers pulled him away. So that context is not in that video. But I will tell you, some people are used to at this time of year being bullies. And we're not standing for that. We're not standing for that. And if you're going to swear and threaten people's lives and say you're going to your car to get something, then I'm going to react. I'm going to defend my team. I'm going to defend myself. And I'm going to defend anybody that is in the area, quite frankly, because that was a dangerous situation. The police got on the scene and they handled that, and that gentleman has been charged.
And so there you have it. Someone just sent me a video of Rick Fox playing with the Lakers. Look, he got slapped up a little bit. But listen, and was he was quite aggressive on the court. They called him, what was it, the enforcer. Maybe Rick has brought that enforcement here. But let's just jump into this right now, because those were some serious accusations. Was Rick Fox's or any member of his team's lives threatened by yesterday? Well, I have the two gentlemen who were right there. In fact, the one whose voice you heard, who as he was speaking, angrily said, I don't know, what did you say? I don't give a F? Whatever it was, whatever that was. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Bradley Kemp and Garth Roseborough. Gentlemen, Rick Fox says, Mr. Camp, that you were arrested. Were you detained at any time by the police? And more importantly, did you at any time threaten Rick Fox, his campaign manager, Carlisle Bethel, or anyone else on his team?
No, Shanique, in fact, the threat came from them. This all stemmed from a tent that we erected there in the front of Kendall Isaac Gym. And, you know, Rick Fox came out there and he circled our tents with his red tents and everything. And I simply sent him out a video asking him to please remove his tents. And I told him that this is not Canada, you know. And the following day, which would have been Wednesday, when Rick Fox and his team came out there, we all had to move our tents because they were too close to the gym. And Rick Fox, while walking and doing the measurements to show where the 300 feet measurements are, he decided to tell me, you know, that his family is a very big family and I could easily be touched. So the threat came from him and not me. And it seems like they want to do things and then try to put it back on us and everything. But the situation came about whereas when the markers were being placed, the F&M had a whole city of tents over on the southern side of the Kendall Isaac Gym. They had a city of tents, okay? So the PLP decided to go on the other side, which is the northern side of the gym, where the marker, the 300 feet marker was. And while we were walking with the parliamentary officers and they were explaining the distance and so forth, we had put our cars, actually we started our tents from across the road and we run straight across. And because we had to move the 20 by 20s, we put our cars in this particular area where the 20 by 20s was supposed to be set. And we told them, we said, our cars are here as a marker, you know, so that we can put our 20 by 20. We're only waiting for the gentleman to come and bring them over. But Mr. Carlisle Bethel said, no, y'all bring the tents, bring the tents. And he sent his crew to bring the tents, and they put them over our vehicles, all right? And that's where the whole drama started.
That's where it started.
Yes, ma'am.
Rossborough, what did you witness? So it seems as though it started when Bradley Kemp and his team had marked out the proper distance and the area where their tents were to be, but Carlisle Bethel reportedly and allegedly, because we don't see this on video, tried to beat them to it.
What we do not also see is the SWAT team was there, Shanique Miller. There were some 4 of those Toyota 4Runners and some of the meanest looking enforcers I've ever seen in my life. They were all very well armed, and the place was just a volatile space at that particular time. Across the street, as Mr. Kemp said, was Michael Akitas' crew. I saw him sitting over there, quite calm natured. They never crossed the street to get involved in this situation. But when I saw the young man, light-skinned gentleman, I said to those in my car, that got to be Carlisle Bethel. I've never seen him in my life. My spirit just said it must be him, because he stood out in the crowd. He was extremely irate, very animated, very, very volatile, very aggressive. And so Rick Fox now, probably just seeing a hint of that, probably felt it was his leadership role to just part the Red Sea. And in him doing so, I would dare say to you that I've seen Mr. Bradley Kemp work before in the by-election with Darren Pickstock, and he always comes early, he always marks his spots first, he always informs everyone that, you know what, this is where we'd like to have our tents, very organized, very orderly. This combative spirit is because this particular election of 2026 happens to be one of the most misunderstood elections, I think, in my lifetime. There's too many novices involved in the process, and we're seeing the fruits of this whole idea of amateur politics in the Bahamas.
So how do you all feel? I mean, did this have to escalate the way it did? And obviously not, but when you watched it all unfold before your eyes, Garth, were you shocked at just how quickly it escalated and really for no reason when it's sort of an unspoken rule of how the tents are placed and who gets there first, that's their spot. You don't go and try and intrude on that spot. You just try and find the next best spot.
And what makes it worse, Unique, and I'm glad you made that observation, is the heat factor. It was extremely hot that day. And you're trying to put dimensions in place, 10 by 10 tents, 15 by 15 tents, 20 by 20 tents. It's all mathematical. And at that particular time, the people that I saw had just simply become overwhelmed. And the challenges was more to do with their party than it was to just being decent and in order. It was just chaos. And for this particular election, 2026, Shanique Miller, I have never ever witnessed this much chaos. I don't know what to say. I was just taken back. I sat in my car, eating my stew fish, and said, this is a movie, Shanique Miller. This is just simply a movie.
Now, we have not seen it. He said that, were you arrested at any time, Mr. Kemp?
No, Shanique, I was never arrested.
Did the police have to pull you over?
The police never pulled me over. The only thing they did, they asked me about some form of weapon. I opened my vehicle and told them you're welcome to search to see if there's a weapon in the vehicle.
But wait though, when Fox said to you, listen, my family big, you could easily be touched. You didn't tell him, say, listen, my family just as big, you could be touched?
No.
I
told him, I said, do you know who my father is? And I referred to my heavenly father. And he said, oh, that's all our father. I said, my father don't know you, sir. And that was it. I think that's part of why he got offended, because I told him my father
I think
don't
he got
know.
offended when you said you don't give a F, because I was there. That was strong.
Yes, that too.
Yeah, that F had a little punch. That F had a little punch behind it. But you all, in all seriousness, this, every election they say, oh, lots riding on it. So obviously this one being the 2026 is the same as being said.
Yes.
But to see the headline in an international entertainment page about him being threatened, what do you all make of that kind of narrative is being put out there by someone seeking office?
I don't like it. I'm glad that he returned home. I'm glad that he wants to make a contribution. Shanique Miller, there's a difficulty for people that have gone and experienced life abroad to return home to the Bahamas on a whole. To return from abroad to enter into politics is a totally different beast. Rick Fox and I, we're in set. We're probably around the same age. In my time, yes, there were days that we had fistfights. And he left here, he went abroad, he did well. We're no longer in fistfight days. We're no longer in aggression days. We're trying to dispel the idea of the Bahamas being a violent nation. So someone with a celebrity status such as his, to take this over to the United States, you tell me what that tells America, what that tells the world. Are we truly a violent nation? This is not our behavior, Shanique Miller.
Bradley, your thoughts?
Well, Shanique, I think Rick Fox has been exposed for, who he truly is. He tried to sell the Bahamian somebody different, but he has been exposed because I can assure you that the people can see the video for themselves and they can judge for themselves the type of character that Rick is. And I don't think we need that type of characteristics in our House of Assembly. So,
but you were never locked up. You were never charged.
I was never locked up. I was never charged.
You never threatened.
And I never threatened him.
And the police never took him. I was there. The police never took him. There were 4 SWAT cars. They never took Bradley Kemp into custody.
That's right.
I thank you very much, Bradley Kemp. By the way, you all remain calm. I mean, Jesus, the bigger day, May 12th, is just 11 days away. Let's just maybe have it be a little more relaxed day and respect each other's spaces. It's tradition. It happens since perhaps before independence. Respect each other's spaces that they have sort of taken hold and stake out and took hold of. Yes.
And Shanique, if you can give me 30 seconds to apologize to my pastor. To my Prime Minister and to my Bahamian family, I apologize. I allowed the enemy to get the best of me with those words.
And the Fox family.
I do apologize.
Yeah. Hold on, wait now. You was a deacon in the church?
Well, I'm not a deacon.
But a child of God.
Yes. I'm a member of Highbury Park Church of Christ.
Yes. a Church of Christ. Jesus,
yes,
you're supposed to be real safe. I'm real safe. But listen, I know when you get a little heated and vexed, sometimes the things that slip. But listen, no, seriously though, I just wish we all would be peaceful, go to the polls, do what we have to do. Those who, you know, how you line the outside, that 300 distance, and you have your music and all the rest of it, you know, do so respectfully, respectful of one another. And let's just move on to May 12th. And respect the decision after that and move forward as a nation. Moody say we're doing good. My God, let's embrace that and move forward. I thank you very much, Bradley Camp. I thank you, Garth Rosborough. You all heard it right here. The gentleman say he made no threats. We don't see no videos coming out showing that he did. And so there you have it. Send that to TMZ. Thank you. By the way, a huge thank you to Leslie Miller, Ellington Ferguson, also right here in this segment, Bradley Camp and Garth Rosborough, thank you. And a huge thank you to all of you for tuning in this evening and for your participation in tonight's show. I certainly enjoyed having you along all week long. I look forward to seeing you right back here on Monday evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Have a blessed weekend, everyone.